Well, this brings back some memories. It's been a while, but it's always good to be back in Grant County, and to come back for something like this is truly special to me, and I'd like to thank all the directors and folks that asked me to join this club. I'd like to congratulate the other inductees. I consider it a real privilege to go in with such a fine group. And I'd like to give a special shout out to those Marion Giants, the boys of the 70s that took care of some unfinished business that we had in the city. I presume we taught them how to run the clock in the fourth quarter down in Indianapolis too, for those that are old enough to remember that. But you get up here for something like this, and it made me think, why me, and how did this happen? And I think with all of the inductees, maybe some were a little taller, or a little stronger, or a little faster, but if you think for more than about 5 seconds, you realize that there are an awful lot of people and opportunities that allowed us to do what we did. And I'd like to take my time to acknowledge and thank those people. And I'd like to start with my family that means the most to me. I'd like to start with my mom, who came up early from South Florida for this, and she was always the glue, and without her support, her encouragement and her love, none of this would have been possible. I'd like to thank my dad, who was a great athlete at Marion High School, 3 sports, played basketball in the Air Force in World War II, and then remarkably went back to college in his 40s and became captain of the tennis team and an outstanding student athlete in college at age 48. I'd like to thank my wife, Jolene, who has been with me every step of the way. She was my sweetheart in high school, and she's my sweetheart today. We've been soulmates for a long time. And she's pretty mean on the tennis court. She's got a drop shot and lob combination, especially if you have bad knees. They call her Mean Jolene. I'd like to thank my children, my son Eric, and my daughter Sarah, and her fiance Andy for coming a long ways. I want to brag just for a minute. Eric and I have some things in common. He was a 3-year varsity basketball letterman and a co-captain his senior year, and he did it being under 6 feet, so it's a lot harder than I had to do. And my daughter Sarah, I always wished I had her quick first step. And she's a basketball player and an equestrian and a triathlete. Andy, her fiance, thanks for coming too. And one of the reasons I want to brag on my family is Andy's coming into the family. I want to know if another competition he's going to face in the food line. I've got my sister Jan and her husband, Brother David Campbell, here. I'm going to probably forget some people. Nick and Bobby Dedeker, great athlete at Oak Hill. Got a whole slew of Sutter cousins. Okay, you've got tennis players and pole vaulters and basketball players. And, special recognition for my Uncle Jim and Aunt Ned, who I'm told had a huge role in allowing us to be here today because they went and put in so much time in keeping this Memorial Coliseum and helping to form this great facility. So thanks so much to all of you. I want to also thank my brother John, who couldn't be here, for showing me the right way and for blocking so many of my shots growing up. It would be a lot tougher. But I got started in sports about age 9 and spent a lot of time on the tennis court. I can remember my dad taking John and I to get our first tennis rackets at the infamous Osco drugstore. They were $1.99 a piece. They were from Pakistan. They had cardboard handles and they were reinforced balsa wood. Dad told us they were some of the finest rackets in the world. But there was a real camaraderie back then in the tennis community, and there were a lot of older fellows that helped me out and would hit with us and show us little tips and tricks, and a bunch of great guys. And these names don't mean much, but I want to acknowledge people like my dad, Steve Haynes, Jules Walker, Jim Smithley, Al Harper, Bert Ewer, Jerry Porter, Bill Beekman. It was just a great way to get started into sports. And I was just as fortunate in basketball. My first elementary coach, Gene Pinkerton, who taught us that you needed to learn fundamentals and it needed to be fun. And I think those two things hold today. My freshman coach and varsity assistant coach was Bill McCauley. We called him Wild Bill. He started us up in the old YMCA on the second floor. We didn't touch a ball the first 2 days. It was going to be all defense. And he was the one that after we went to Indianapolis my junior year, came back and told us we probably wouldn't get back there our senior years because we thought we were too pretty and we wouldn't get our uniforms dirty. And we proved him wrong, which was all he wanted. And Dick Persinger, who was a perfect assistant coach, tremendous knowledge of the game, always could take you aside and either calm you down or pep you up, whatever it took. And then there was this guy that we just called Coach. If you've been around here, you may have heard the name a couple of times, Cole Scott, once or twice. But he deserves all the recognition he's ever got, and I think his wife Marge deserves every bit of it too. I know what a valuable component of the team she was, Mrs. Marion Giant. Coach taught us a lot of things, and I mean, thinking about it, I think respect was right at the top of the list, although I don't remember him using that word very much. Respect our teammates, and that's what it was really all about for us. I had great teammates. Respect your opponents, respect referees, coaches, and the fans, and really respect the game. And in so doing, I think we all gained a sense of self-respect. And once you've got that, I think you've learned a great lesson. And I think the beauty of that is that I coach youth sports, and I tried to send that message out, and I think some of those guys are doing the same thing today. So can one man make a difference? He sure did. Cut of the same cloth with a few other Hoosiers you may have heard of, named John Wooden and Tony Hinkle. And I feel so fortunate. The last group that I really want to thank is the fans and this culture that I was fortunate to grow up. 3 quick memories all happened on this floor right here. Man, this place could rock and roll with 5,200 Marion Giant fans. My sophomore year, remember we beat Elwood in overtime. We had John Mandel and that crew. John played about 10 years in the NBA. We were down 1 point in the overtime. Doug Brown shooting a free throw. He missed. John, my brother, got the rebound, put it back in. We won the game. And the fans were just going crazy for us. And I'll say there were a lot of non-Marion fans, a lot of Grant County supporters who probably rooted against us until that game. Boy, they sure came out for us after that. My junior year, we played Lafayette Jeff. They were undefeated, #1 in the state. We came in here and we beat them in overtime. And the next day, I was at the market picking up a few things for my mom, and everybody was patting us on the back and shaking my hand, way to go. And I felt this little tap on my elbow. And I turned around, and there was a little white-haired lady, and I said, "Ma'am," she said, "that was a good win you boys got last night. You didn't block out worth the darn." I heard the same thing from Bill McCauley on Monday. In our senior year, it was just crazy fun. It was so much excitement. I think we sold out this Coliseum in 24 hours with preseason tickets. I feel so fortunate to have been involved in that. Even after we lost in Indianapolis, they brought us in the fire trucks, and this place was full and going crazy, and it was "Hey Back Jack," chorus after chorus. So I know what it's meant to my life. A tremendous foundation, and the most fun and most memorable sports experiences I ever had. And I'll leave you with just one hope, and I hope that, and this is preaching to the choir, but I hope the kids today can have some of those opportunities that we all enjoyed back then. So it's nice to see everyone again, and thanks so much for